you believe we're at day 10 already? I didn't have a flag, so I've got a feather. And I also got a little drink to share with you. It's only water. If I had wine at this time of the morning, I would be on the floor and you wouldn't get the last day. So I'm so excited to be here. I can't believe 10 days has gone already. It's been a really good journey for me, and I hope it has been for you too. I love what I've put together. It works, and I want you to promise me, and we're going to finish day 10, but I want you to promise me that you're going to use this training. It's no point in having it and going, and I'm going to remind you of this at the end too. No point in having it and going, woo, because you've got someone here to G you up, and then it becomes one of those shelf help things, and it goes on the bookshelf, and it doesn't come off until you actually dust it. All right. So think about that. Think about what you really want. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So get going. Use this training over and over and over again. All right, cool. So that's me. Let me just wave this one more time. You know what? When I do these in live, we have party. Everybody's dancing. Cool. All right, back down now then. So yesterday we talked about the 9 most useful steps. All right, to stay on track and step when you're setting and realizing your goals. And if this is the first time you're joining the 10-day Inner Critic, Crush Your Inner Critic series, welcome. You still have a few days. All right, you have a little while to get access to all the training through clicking the action steps on my website. And if you've been here every day, I am super grateful. I'm hoping that you've got something out of this training and it's inspired you to just think a little bit differently and start going, you know what, I can have what I want. I just need to go after it. And so I hope you've learned a ton along the way. And for those of you who don't know me at all, I'm Pamela Hartnell, founder and CEO of MindFit Mastery, and your empowerment strategist. And today, then, it's about being organized, because everything's about preparation, like the little boy scouts and girl guides that we grew up believing in. Actually, that's a big thing in England. I don't know if it is out here in Australia. So today's about being organized and preparation, and I want to share the most practical way that I've found to review, tweak, and reset when it comes to setting goals, making changes so that you can break through any internal and external resistance, because you are going to get that. All right. So sometimes things, or people or events don't happen the way that you think they're going to. Something can get in the way, and so to be successful, you have to constantly review what's working and what's not working, and figure out the best way to deal with that. And so, as you've learned in the last 10 days, you need to brainstorm your idea and do everything that is necessary to identify where you're at, where you want to go, and then create a step-by-step roadmap to get there. And you might remember I said I put mine up on the wall so that I can constantly be reminded of one step I've at. So I've got I've got that roadmap for you, and I want you to put that up and put your goals underneath it. And I'm going to revisit each day and tell you when you're getting stuck, which day you should go back to, because I think you don't have to watch all the training every time you get stuck. So before I go there, I'm going to say good morning to Parker. I'm here for the grand finale. Woohoo! Did you see me? It's a poor excuse for a flag, isn't it, Parker? And to the great beginning of big things. I hope so, Parker, and I'm super glad you've been here every day, and I've enjoyed having you here. And Sebastian Onet says, congratulations, excited to attend the 10th day. Thank you, Sebastian. Great to have you here. Mark Sullivan, good morning. And yes, I will use this training. You better. So otherwise it's shelf help and it's no good. All right, so let's review. Why would you want to revisit the day 1 training? Because you can actually revisit all the trainings as many times as you want, but you may not need to watch all of them all the time. And some trainings are specific to a particular process or a particular place that you find yourself at. So I just want to share a guideline for where to go and which one to use when you hit that proverbial speed bump. And I never want you to go after your goals thinking I've got it all lined out and it's all going to be happy joy, and because you will hit speed bumps. But if you've got that contingency plan that we talked about earlier in the week, and you know how you're going to get around them, and you've got something set up for it, then you can expect that. Okay, I hit that speed bump. I'm prepared for this. It's like going outside and it looks like it might rain, and you take your umbrella with you. And we've got the celebratory thing, so every now and then that is going to pop up. So it's sort of celebrating with you on your 10th day. Okay, so if nothing's happening the way you want, go back to the go back to the beginning. If nothing absolutely is happening, go back to the way to the beginning and go, okay, nothing's working, and review that day one's training, which talks about how and why of being stuck, and start again there. And Jin Zawati, good morning from Jin and Kara. Yay, hi Kara. Awesome. Lovely to have you guys here. And it was nice to meet you yesterday, Kara. Okay, so start there, and that will give you a fresh opportunity to review what's not working and what is, of course, as well as understand and identify any new challenges that have come along since you started working. Because as I say, everything's changing all the time, constantly. And you need to ask, is my current course of action doing what I thought it was going to? And maybe, sometimes it'll shed light on some other childhood stories that are running in the background, and you may even become unconsciously attached to another one. All right, it's a bit like looking in that box. You can't, you're looking into kids' toy box, and you're taking out this toy, that toy, that toy, and you go, oh my god! At the bottom of the box is Blueberry, and he's been lost forever. So when you start taking layers off, because like onions, it's like that Shrek thing. Onion, there's so many layers, onion boy. Right, but you uncover one thing, and what you thought was the problem isn't actually the problem, and then you discover something else because you start digging deeper down into your why. And August has just joined us. Woohoo! Party time! Yes, August, the big 10-day is here. I always so freaking use this training. Yes, that's a big yes from me, August. I really am super excited because it works. I promise you. There's about 40 years of training and understanding and stuff in there that I put, and you wouldn't know, but I spent so much time compiling, like a whole day just to get like a 10-minute thing, because I was really thinking about wanted to give you good content and value. Anyway, so getting back to that, so I just want you to follow the process all over again. If you're absolutely completely stuck and you go, I have no idea why it's not working. It's not some's working in something. It's just like nothing's working. So just start again. Like, what didn't you look at the first time? What didn't you allow for? What didn't you think about? Okay. So as when I did on my Tony Robbins and Chloe Mandanis training, it was repetition's the mother of skill, and that just means you just keep moving forward. All right. You follow the process from the step-by-step process that you learned in the beginning, and you just keep moving forward. And it doesn't matter. If you remember, we talked about detours. So long as your goal is here and you're here, it doesn't matter if you go off here, so long as you keep coming back and you end up where you really want to go. All right. So you might find that sometimes you go 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, and you just got to keep resetting. Be intentional and reset. A client of mine actually asked me, so how many times am I going to need to reset then? And I went, as many times as it takes. So for you to reach your goal. Okay, cool. So then when would you revisit day 2 training? If you start feeling you've got no interest or vision in your goals, and you have no enthusiasm or motivation, and you've hit one of those major speed bumps that we've talked about, and you've been knocked off course. Or you may want to give up and suddenly feel like, oh my God, I can't be bothered. This is too much. It's all too much. I'll do it tomorrow. I've got the kids. I've got the school. I've got this. I've got that happening. And it's all overwhelming. All right. Or you start feeling uninspired, and then you begin to procrastinate like a boss. And I did see a message come up from August. So if you could pop that one back up so I can say what that was, that would be awesome. And that's a great point. Reset as many times as you need to. 100%, August. Yeah, thank you. So much is already making sense since a 10-year training, and I'm already looking forward to the next training. Oh, you have no idea, August, what I've got in store for you. I'm super, super excited. This is just the first of, this is like the tip of the iceberg. Also, now it'd be good to have you there. So immediately go back then, when you get to that, when you start procrastinating, when you start going, this is too much, and you get tired and you can't bother, and I'll do it tomorrow, do it later. Yeah, go back to day 2, which helps remind you of why you thought resetting and changing that habit, that behavior, that lifestyle, whatever it was essential to you in the first place. Yeah, and it'll strengthen your resolve for going the distance, get you back on track, and achieve the change, because you obviously decided at some point that change was essential. So you can reset now, can't you? So that day 2 training process will help restore those intentions and renew that. And Parker says, I have to ask, what day do we do if self-doubt says reset means we failed and brain won't let me focus away from the failure? That's a really good question. And this one will, Parker, this day too, will actually help you understand why you want to make that change and why you think you failed and all of that. So that's a big question. So I would just go back and visit this one and you'll get an answer to that as we go through. All right. So hold on to that thought. But this day 2 is a good place to start because it first reminds you of why you even wanted to make that change in the first place and why you think it's a failure that you're there or it's not working for you while you're there. But you'll get a more of an in-depth answer to that question in a second. So, and because from there you can figure out what's changed, and you can plan then change your plans throughout the 10-day process. You're constantly going to have to change things and tweak things up. And if you've ever succeeded at anything, even if it's only small, it's always worth the effort. So remember too that you enlisted an accountability buddy for a reason. So have a chat with them and see where they can pick you up and make you feel like you've got this and less stressed. And if you're feeling unhappy and motivated, or even if you just need a little bit of inspiration, give them a call. But always make sure you're the one that's still doing the driving and the thinking. And August says, I'm happy to be your accountability partner, buddy Parker. Hey, that's fantastic. I love that. And half the time that's just what it is. August says fear of failure is huge because of the shame. Yeah, we have been trained to feel. So I totally understand that. So the thing is, the fear of failure, the problem with that, August, is you don't go out and try things. So then you actually stay stuck. So for me, staying stuck and not trying things, that's failure. And there's a beautiful quote, isn't it, that you only fail when you fail to try. So I don't believe in failure. I know that there's a lot of cultures that have been believed that if they fail, they should be shamed. And Parker says, I'll take you up on that. Let's buddy up. Thanks, Pamela, for making this happen. Absolutely, 100%, guys. And I would love to hear about your journey. So drop into my reset group and you guys can have a conversation in there and I can follow that and be part of your journey too. I would absolutely love that. So, okay, so day 3 and 4 trainings then. You would watch these trainings if you need to adjust how the changes you're intending are impacting you and the people around you. And day 3 training works on the problem of staying stuck and how that will impact the quality of your life. And of course, watch that first and then watch day 4, which is the need for resilience. Okay, so you reevaluate why you've reached that stuck point again. And it may be for the same reason as you started, so then you just tweak it, or maybe a completely different reason, as I said earlier. Just unpack the issue with the mindset of, why is this a problem for me? And how can it be solved? Because there is always a solution if you look for one. Okay, so then we would revisit day 5 and 6 trainings, and you'll see specifically if you find that outside influences are getting to you. Yeah. Day 5 training walks you through how to address that negative self-talk that are coming up from those influences. And Parker, this might be part of what was going on with you, and with that self-doubt. It's that negative self-talk from external people saying, oh, what do you want to do that for? Like when I was I got it into my head that as a 27-year-old, I was still looking for my father's attention. And I thought, okay, I am going to become a surfing champion. And I said to my girlfriend, I'm going to become the European surfing champion. The titles are in France next year. And she goes, but you don't surf. I'm like, no, I know. But I'll find someone that can help me. And Parker says, it's because how people sometimes get into my head. Well, and I'm going to explain that, Parker. So with this surfing thing, my friend's like, okay, she knows me. Once I get an idea in my head, I'm like a dog with a bone. I had it into my head that if I became a surfing champion, my father would love me and it would all go back to being father-daughter. And I had this like romantic idea of what was going to happen. So I got someone to show me how to surf, and long story short, at the end of 12 months, I did actually win the European titles. But all through that year, how many people wrote me off because they said, you haven't been surfing very long, don't expect to do very well, don't get your hopes up, you shouldn't be doing that because there's people that have been surfing for 10 years and all this negativity. But I was so resolute. I built this like wall around me. It's like, you're not penetrating that. I'm going to win this. And I was reading that book by Maxwell Maltz, Psycho-Cybernetics. That's the first mindset book I'd ever really read like that. And I used everything that book told me. And I share a lot of that through all my trainings. But yeah, and I won the European titles. And by rights, I probably shouldn't have. 1 year of surfing against people that have been surfing for 10 years. They had the experience, they had the knowledge, and they had everything going from there. The support, I had nothing, and I still won. So that negative naysayers, that negative self-talk, never let it get to you, Parker. And our Dream Maniac says, this is fantastic training, Pamela. We're looking forward to having you back on our show, Intentional Influencer. And I'm looking forward to being back there too. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so when you move to a more positive mindset and a healthier self-talk, nothing can stop you, right? You just got to go, that's your opinions. They're like backsides. Everyone's got one. So you know what? Shut it out. Build a wall around you and pretend. Fake it till you make it, as they say. Because you know what? I think I said earlier in the week, the mind can't tell the difference between what's real and imagined. Like they do that with all sorts of placebo effects and things. And Reset Your Life says, say with Pamela, nothing can stop me. Woo! Nothing can stop me. Get your flag or adapt to something else. All right. So then day 6, training, right? Excuses versus decisions. Like that will challenge your current attitude and all of the behaviors and the people around you. And it's like, am I buying into their nonsense and living their life? Because remember, when you're going by what someone else is telling you to say and do, you're living their life. What happened to yours, right? And always remember, thoughts are not facts. So constantly recommit to yourself, recommit to your need and your want for change, and recommit to your why and go, that's important to me. And if it's important to me, then, if it's not important to you, then change it. But don't just change it because it gets a little bit too hard, because, from my earlier training, how I feel about that. All right, cool. So then day 7 and 8 training, you would revisit those if you really need to reset your goals and rework your action steps, or just to modify. And maybe you just need to adjust your expectations, because my expectation of winning the European titles was my end goal, but I knew that there was a lot of work that I had to do to get there. So I would modify and adjust my expectations of myself when I went out. It's like, come on, Pam, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I got real about it. And I know that the effort in is reward out. And I used to say that to my kids all the time. So 7 and 8, those days of training, you might remember there, it's talking about living as opposed to existing. So you got to go, am I living my truth or am I just existing, right? So just adjust your expectations of yourself, but make sure you're living, right? Not just following everybody else, being a sheep, and go after what you want. And you remind yourself of the real purpose of making goals and why that commitment's vital if you want to succeed, because you're creating a better life for yourself. And if you're a parent, you're creating that blueprint. Remember, we talked about that too, for the children around you. They're watching everything you do, everything you say, and how you deal with everything. They're watching, and they're creating their own internal blueprint for how they're going to deal with things. So if you want to show them what failure looks like, give up. And if you want to show them what success looks like, no matter how hard it is, do that too. All right. So lastly, and I'll bang on the drum about that all the time. So lastly, you will revisit the training and stay on day 9 yesterday, because we did the steps for success. Remember, we did that flow chart, and each of those steps is a success step. And in order to figure out what's not working well and what is working well, you just follow that flow chart along, work out where you are, and work out, is it someone else that's like keeping you stuck? Is it because my goal's not the right goal? Is it, what do I need to tweak? What do I need to adjust, right? And make sure all your required changes are compliant with all the trainings that you've learned and the 9 steps, and just work out which one. There's always a step that you can use, and you can go forward and you go back, and you might, I'm procrastinating, so I need to go there. I need to change my goal, I'm going to go there. I need to adjust, so I'm going to do something else there. So that's it for all the trainings. And I have a question or a big thought for the day. I do this thing at Facebook where I do thought for the day. And I want you to fast forward 10 years. Like, where are you now? Fast forward 10 years in your mind. Like, even close your eyes while you're listening. And you're 10 years from now, right? And this is the last tasking I will ask you to do. Obviously, because it's our last day. I want you to write that vision out, where you'll be in 10 years if you've sat and you've you've gone through this process. Yeah, I want you to write out your future you. So I want you to sit quietly in a spot where you be undisturbed and really think deeply about this. Like fast forward in your life for 10 years time, where are you? Write out your future you because you followed the training. You did every one of these steps and you thought long and hard about your goals and the changes and the impact they would make and why that was a good thing, why you wanted it. You created your flow chart, like I said, and you put it up there where it's visible, and you made contingency plans for those setbacks and speed bumps, and you created realistic and achievable goals, and you constantly reviewed, retweaked, and reset things as and when you needed. So where are you? Because of that, where are you? Where are you? Where are you now, 10 years later? I mean, what do you look like? What are you doing? What are you saying? What are you wearing? What relationship are you in? And build that dream and create a beautiful vision. And imagine 10 years in the future that you're ringing me up and you're going, hey, Pam, oh my God, I can't believe it. That was the best training ever. And because of that, I'm this, I'm doing that. And that would be like the best present ever for me to have that phone call or have that message. And I want to be that person. I want to be that one of those people that you ring when you go, oh my God, if it hadn't been for that training, I would still be stuck in my old habits. Now, of course, you have to do both sides of these things. So I want you to do the second vision, and you're going to put both of these up where you're going to remind yourself of that's what's going to happen if I do the training. Yes, that's what's going to happen if I don't do the training. So I want you to repeat to yourself over and over, nothing can stop me, nothing can stop me, when you're looking at your vision of what you will look like. So what your repeat that to yourself. Yeah, Parker, nothing can stop me. Fantastic. Oh yeah, August, nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me, says Sebastian. That's fantastic. Nothing. Oh, JP, nothing can stop me because I am on a great reset. Yes, JP, awesome. Nail that, because you get one life and one life only. So make sure it's yours, you're living, and you can't worry enough about what other people think, right? To change their opinion. You can't be upset enough to change whatever. So, I could go on with a whole life about those sort of things. But what I want you to do, so you write out your future vision, you've followed the training, what do you look like? But quite the opposite. I want you to also have on another piece of paper right beside it, if I did, if I didn't, fast forward, no training, no change, nothing's different, where are you now? And I want you to write out that future you, and I want you to go into full detail, right? Elaborate, make it elaborate. What are you doing? What are you saying? What are you wearing? And what's that relationship like? I want your worst case scenario. And then underneath, I want you to put why that is a problem and how it will be a problem. All right. Because when you get off track and you can follow your flow chart and you've got, there's my future me. And if I do that training and I get back on track, and there's that future me, if I don't, we'll do more to move away from pain than we would towards pleasure. But that's another training too. So that's it for this 10-day training. I hope I've inspired you to take action and go after what you want in life. And I want you to live rather than exist, okay? Because too many people are just going through life on Groundhog Day. And I want you to have fun. Life's supposed to be fun. And you know what? You're supposed to make mistakes. So if we have any comments, you can pop them up for me now, team. And thank you so much for this training, Pam Parker says. And that's an absolute pleasure. And August says, it's the most certainly one of the best trainings I've attended in the last 3 years. Thank you, August. I appreciate you sharing that. RG Maniac says, great training, Pamela. Congratulations. 3 cheers for the celebration. Woohoo! And here's my pretend drink. JP says, this has been a valuable training for me. Fantastic, JP. That's awesome. So I want you to remember that nothing changes if you change nothing. So, and I'm going to leave you today with another quote that I actually have on the entrance door to my COF's office, and it's a Dr. Seuss quote. And I have it on my door so that people can read it when they come into my office. And it's that one that says, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, and you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who decide where you go. So I want to know, where will your brains and your feet take you now? And really, I implore you to live your life and go after what you want, and be okay with not getting it right first time. You learn something. Remember, you win and you learn something. You don't win and you still learn, but you learn something different. Okay. So I want you to join my Facebook community. You can find that link below. And if you were here live during this program, you got access to a ton of resources instantly. But if you're watching this on replay, you'll need to log on to www.pamelahartnell.com and click on the action sheets. Then you can choose Crush Your Inner Critic, so you can gain access to all of those resources for free. There will also be upgrades available very soon, and I want you to stay tuned, because this series is only the first of many great programs that I will be delivering throughout the coming year. And I've got 40 years of learning experience and wisdom that I am dying to share with you. It's taken me from growing up in poverty, abuse and abandonment, to owning a couple of homes, driving my sports car, and living in a great place now. I didn't do that because I had lots of money, lots of support. I did that because I was motivated, and I crushed my inner critic, and I let other people's opinions be just that, and I never let other people's stuff drive what I did for myself or my behaviors. So for a limited time, then I want to remind you that you can access all of those trainings on my website for no cost and a small time. To the end of this month. I'm still thinking, my mind had already gone ahead then. So for a limited time until the end of this month, you can click on the available training at no cost still. So until then, if there are no more comments to read out, and we've got our Celebrate Breathe background, so we're celebrating with you, and I'll say goodbye. So until then, live your life large, and live it with passion. Reset. Be authentic and be you. Bye for now. Bye!
And it is time to celebrate. How good was that?
Did you like it?
Absolutely loved it. I think the audience loved it as well. It is, so guys, this is a little behind the scenes with the team and the CEO, Pamela. And so, we took some pictures behind the scenes, and there we go. So, yes, it was really, really good. Thank you for this training, Pam. I know I'm working behind the scenes with the team, but it's still so much fun.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
And we have a new comment. Let's see who that is. Jen says, thank you. Can't wait to start training. There you go. Make sure, guys, to get the worksheets, sign up, because if you sign up now, you get a lot of things.
I'm so excited. They're going to make change. They're going to make so much change.
Absolutely.
I'm just excited. You just follow that process.
Thank you so much, Pamela. Thank you so much, Pamela. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.